It's the beginning of July in New York State, and this is typically the time when a lot of gardens will really get going. So you might see a lot of warm weather crops like zucchini, tomatoes, usually not eggplants or peppers yet, but typically for us, we have a lot of summer squash and tomatoes that come out this time of year. No, these are not them. We are actually really behind in the garden. So these are from the store. Even if you don't grow your own food, you will see a lot of the seasonal foods will be cheaper where you are. This is one of my favorite summer squash recipes. I just shredded 2 small zucchinis, and it's about 3 cups. And I'm going to put 2 pinches of salt and kind of mix it up a little bit. I want the salt to draw out the water because we're going to have to squeeze the zucchini and get the water out in a little bit. All right, I'll let that sit over here. One of the things that I learned about growing food is that when it comes in, there's just a lot of it. And you're going to have a plan for what to do with 5 zucchinis every week. Like, that's a lot. So I started a while back researching different types of recipes that I could use for when the zucchinis came in or the tomatoes came in. And tomatoes, I feel like, is a little bit easier. You can always make sauce, put them in the freezer. But zucchinis, I always found them a little bit trickier to figure out what to do with them. I like it roasted. I like them in pasta. Zucchini bread is classic. It's delicious. But I was looking for something else. I found this recipe online probably like 3 or 4 years ago. And unfortunately, I don't know where I got it from because when I went to go look for the place now, so I could give credit to whoever made up this recipe, turns out there's a lot of these recipes out there, and I don't know who it was. So it's called Poor Man's Crab Cake because it really does mimic crab cake. I love crab cake. I haven't had it in forever. So I found this recipe and it claimed to do that. I was like, all right, well, that sounds good. And during that same time, I bought this ridiculously large container of Old Bay seasoning. And I love the taste of Old Bay, but I wasn't really sure what to do with it. And so this recipe uses it up nicely. And I made this just a few nights ago for some friends when they were over. And one of the friends, she's like, I can't believe there's not crab in here. I'm like, I know, like, it really does taste like it. I think between the zucchini, which gives it a nice texture, and the panko breadcrumbs, which have more texture than like a fine breadcrumb, it really does mimic a lot. The original version that I wrote down for this recipe, it just said to serve it with tartar sauce, which is really nice. But this is like shallow fried, so that's already oily, and the tartar sauce is very mayo-ish. I felt like it needed something else, like something fresh, so then I serve it with tomatoes as well. I feel like that's a really nice touch. Kind of cuts through a lot of like the creaminess and the oil. It's still, it's a fried treat. One of the other things that I love about this recipe is it's like pretty forgiving. So as long as you make sure to squeeze out as much of the zucchini water as you can, you could have 3 cups of shredded zucchini. You can go up to 4 cups. Just make sure you really squeeze it out well, because there's been times I haven't, and it's just like it's wet. It doesn't taste as good. I've also made a version of this recipe that's vegan. So everything's the same except instead of regular mayo, I used vegan mayo. And instead of eggs, I used like just ground flaxseed. And it was delicious. You could see how easily it all came together. I just put all of the ingredients except for the zucchini in this bowl, mixed it up, and the zucchini's been sitting there for about maybe 10 minutes, and just gotta squeeze it out. You can see how much of the liquid is coming out. when I made this a few days ago, I was thinking like, oh, zucchini and corn, like it tastes so good together. I'm gonna put fresh corn in here. It did taste good, but the corn kept like popping and like exploding in the pan. So you could try and add other vegetables. I would like to try the corn thing again, just maybe like cooked corn, or I'll try like do canned corn, um, not fresh corn. Um, that was intense. This is one of those really great summer meals. You could do this with a salad. That's what we did for dinner on Saturday. We did it with like a peach mozzarella tomato salad and a tofu broccoli salad. It was really good. And then we had ice cream and cobbler for dessert. All right, there it is, all mixed together. Okay, I'm going to start frying these up. When I cook it today, I'm using peanut oil. I still don't really know how to choose what oil to cook things in. I used to only use olive oil, but then somebody was pointing out that a lot of times like olive oil loses some of its good benefits once it's been heated up too high, and it can also like change the flavor in a negative way. I don't know how to figure this out really yet. I should know this at this point, but I'm just using peanut oil. I think it fries really well. All right, while the oil's heating up, I'm going to make them into little balls, and then I'm going to flatten them and roll them in the panko. Okay. Also, this step with the panko, this is a totally like a bonus thing. You don't have to do it. I normally don't do it because I just pop it in the pan, but I've got some time while it's still heating up. You can also make it whatever size you want. Making these kind of like medium size, but if you wanted to make a larger one, you could use them in a sandwich, like a crab sandwich. That would be great. If you want to make it like appetizer size, obviously you could just make them smaller.
Like you need, why not? Because, well, first of all, as you said.
Okay, so this is probably quarter cup of mayo, and gonna do a tablespoon of relish. I think maybe I would do more than this if you, yeah. I mean, this is enough to give each one a little dip. Yeah, maybe do half cup, and then 2 tablespoons of, oh, that's not the right container. That's not right. Oh my gosh. Let's try that again. This is enough for each one to do like a little dip. I would actually just make more. We don't put a whole bunch of it on there, but it's probably better to have a little too much rather than too little. We're also like out of mayo, so that'll do. So here it is, our favorite way, with some of the tartar sauce and then fresh tomatoes. These are just stacked on top of each other, so normally you use a fork and a knife, but just take one of these. Look at it, isn't it so cute? All right. So good. You really wouldn't know there's any zucchini in there. Has the freshness from the tomatoes, creaminess from the mayo, crunchiness from the breadcrumbs. It's delicious. And it's one of those perfect summer appetizers or late dinners. So if you try it, I hope you like it as much as we do.